Good afternoon, good evening once again. It's great to be with you and it's great to have you with me. Today we're going to be looking at the final interview. We really are at the last stage of the recruitment process now. And this is the biggie. This is the time when you get to meet the hiring manager, the departmental director, the partner, the person who is probably going to be the one who manages you at some level of line management. By now, they know that you can do the job. You've been through everything. They're pretty confident that if they employ you, you can do it. So what's the purpose of this interview then? What's the purpose? Why are they bringing you back one more time? This may happen as part of your assessment centre, but it may be standalone. But in any case, it's taking the time of a very senior person in your organisation. So why are they bringing you back? Well, I think there's two things that they need to see from you. One is your motivation. Are you really, really wanting this job? Are you really, really wanting to work for them? And the other is fit. Do they think you will fit within their organisation? Do you share the same values? Is the big question. Now they reckon that by the time you get to this point in the process, you've probably got about a 1 in 2 chance of getting the job. So it's not just a formality. It's still really important. But you are in a great position at this point if you can demonstrate motivation and fit. So they can ask you anything they like. The person doing this interview is not a trained interviewer. They don't have a script. They can go in any direction they wish. They can be aggressive. They can be gentle. They can push you hard, or it can become a nice conversation. We have no idea what it's going to be like. And perhaps even the same person can be different with different people on different days. Who knows? So it's important to be ready for anything. So of course you want really, really strong answers, stronger answers than you've ever had before on why do you want the job? Why am I right for the job? Tell me about yourself. Tell me about our company. Yeah, these are things which demonstrate you've done your research, you understand the requirements, you understand how you meet the requirements, and in general you are able to talk about yourself in a convincing, yet not too, well, shall we say, in a convincing and reasonably modest way. We're not looking to score points by being too self-aggrandizing, shall we say. They're not looking for that sort of thing. They're looking for people who can, yes, talk about themselves, but do it in a nice way, a friendly way. But those questions, why do I want the job? Why am I right for the job? What is it about the company? Why do I want to work for the company? These are key questions. If you know who you're going to be interviewed by, then most certainly do a LinkedIn inquiry on them. You need to know who you're talking to if at all possible. Now, there may be a presentation as part of this final interview. Often there is. They will give you a title in advance or give you a choice of titles. You have to prepare a 5-minute or a 10-minute presentation, following which there will be discussion. You have to support your case, your recommendations or whatever. It's generally some sort of consultancy engagement, in terms of how do we do better in this area, what should we do more, how does this offer us an opportunity. You have to think through things, identify where you can get information from. Maybe there's information online that is relevant. So, how do we work with startups? How do we stop startups failing? Is one that I've seen. So how many startups are there every year? How many startups fail? What percentage of startups fail over what time period? What are startups looking for? What are the big issues that startups have when they fail? And how can we therefore as a consultancy engage with them to strengthen them and to help them not to fail? You can see the content of a presentation coming to life in front of you, and then all you have to do is identify what you would recommend, which can of course be, and they would be hoping it will be, creative, innovative, new, never thought of before, but will probably consist of a lot of fairly standard thoughts, but with something interesting and novel thrown in there as well. So that's just a very simple example of a sort of final presentation that you might have to give in front of the director, the partner, or other senior manager. What I would say at this point, perhaps even more than ever, is work with somebody who's done this before, who knows what you're going to go through, somebody who can coach you through this, who can help you to identify answers to questions, the strengths that you have, the things that you can bring to the company, etc. Have your own questions ready for them. These are work-related, business-related questions. They can be as general as, well, how's business? How are things going in the company? But you might want to be more specific and think about the graduate scheme. What's the processes? What's the more detail about it? Think about promotion prospects, the process, the timing, the pathway for promotion, that sort of thing. But make sure it's work related. And the more business related you can make it, I think the better. So, go and do your deep research on the company values. Go and really write out and really study the answers to the basic questions until you know them backwards and you feel that they make sense and they're consistent and coherent and compelling, and find somebody to help you. So that's final interviews. We then move on in the next couple of days to reviewing your contract and settling in. Thank you for being with me again today. I hope it's useful. I look forward to seeing you soon. Goodbye.